Paranormals are one of the most interesting classes of monsters the game has ever seen. On one island you have a monster who looks completely normal for the most part, but on that same island's mirror form, it looks completely different and twisted. In today's video, I'll be going over the lore and background of every paranormal monster in the game, and I'll also be explaining exactly what goes on with each one when they switch from their major form to their minor form. Starting with the triples and working our way down to the singles, the first one I'll be talking about is Ermagerd, the mutual paranormal. Ermagerd's major form is the Irma part of its name, and this is the calm and balanced side of the monster. In this form, Ermagerd's body is made of a thick, gooey substance from the deepest parts of the beyond. This substance also works as a home for smaller life forms. As Ermagerd is the mutual paranormal, both the life forms inside of it and Ermagerd benefit from being connected mutually. As these life forms swim and swirl around inside the goo, they create vibrations that turn into music. Irma's five-limbed body moves in harmony with them, and both sides benefit equally. However, when Ermagerd enters the minor carnival, it transforms into its minor form, Gertie. The strange environment causes the gooey substance to harden, dissolving Irma's eyes and leaving it blind. Panicked, Gertie tries to take control of the life forms inside its body. The life forms fight back by forming hard, tooth-like shapes and attempting to escape. Although, Gertie collects these teeth to keep making music, while the life forms are forced to act as its eyes, guiding it through the carnival. The peaceful balance is gone, replaced by tension and control. One thing I want to mention as well though is that in its minor form, you only see 2 of the life forms inside of it as compared to the major form which had 3 swirling around, so where is the third one? Well, if you look at its left leg, you'll see that one of the insects tried escaping through the leg, but didn't make it in time and ended up dying in the process. This hasn't been confirmed by the monster handlers themselves yet, but to me it makes perfect sense. Ermagerd is one of the more darker paranormals, turning from a mutual relationship to a parasitic, entrapment relationship, you know what I mean. Moving on to the next paranormal, we have Germ, the Cycle Paranormal. Germ's major form is calm, strange, and always repeating itself. In this form, Germ is never truly alone. Small, fruit-like growths appear on its body and slowly drain its energy. When the time is right, they pop off and spin away, making soft, pleasant sounds as they go. These pieces then grow on their own and eventually return, merging back together to remake Germ. This constant cycle of growing, breaking apart, and becoming whole again keeps Germ balanced in both body and spirit and even shapes its luck. But when Germ shifts into its minor form, the cycle becomes a problem. One of the growing pieces becomes too ambitious and attaches itself like a tree, locking Germ in place and taking away its freedom to fly. The cycles keep going, but now they're harder and more uncomfortable. The fruiting bodies become soggier, Germ's body stiffens, and the monster looks tired and unhappy. The cycle of life continues, just not as beautifully as before. That is really I used to think... So technically, my boy Germ is dying, in real time. It's the Cycle Paranormal, the cycle of life. So yeah. But the next paranormal on our list is Dactyl, the Bombast Paranormal. Dactyl's major form is loud, fast, and full of energy. In this form, Dactyl is a monster with wild, non-stop movements. Every pop, every lock, and every flail helps keep its body together. Even though it looks messy and chaotic, this constant motion is the only way Dactyl can stay stable. Its strange symmetry and strong attitude help it balance itself, and its bold personality shows clearly in this form. The music it makes comes from the clanging and banging of its moving parts, turning chaos into rhythm. But when Dactyl switches to its minor form, all that effort starts to catch up. Its energy begins to run low, and without enough movement, its body starts to sag and stiffen. The posture becomes crooked, and the flexibility it once had is mostly gone. He's basically crippled at this point. The constant noise inside its body can even mess with its mind, sometimes causing Dactyl to forget everything and wake up every day with a blank memory. The sass is still there obviously, but now it's mixed with exhaustion and confusion. Moving on from all of the darker minor forms, we have Scallyrags, the Rascal Paranormal. Scallyrag's major form is slick, confusing, and hard to read. In this form, Scallyrags looks like one tall, fancy monster wearing a big hat and coat. But if you look closely, it's actually 3 smaller creatures stacked together. Scallyrags is very good at controlling how others see it. Some monsters feel drawn to it right away, charmed by its polite moves and stylish look. Others feel uncomfortable and want to stay away, even if they don't know why. Scallyrags chooses which feeling you get, making it a master manipulator. Yo, he is tough, bruh. But when Scallyrags switches to its minor form, the trick starts to fall apart. The 3 creatures become way more obvious, like they're just like putting themselves out there, and their true motives show. They act childish and sneaky, trying to fool others for their own gain, mostly because they feel cheated and want more than what they have. In this form, Scallyrags is less smooth and more desperate, relying on deception instead of charm. Still, one thing never changes, you only ever see what Scallyrags wants you to see. Staying in like a lighthearted tone like Scallyrags, the next paranormal that we have is Shimmer. The depths paranormal. Shimmer's major form is quiet, distant, and mysterious. In this form, Shimmer looks like living space itself, like stars seen from very far away. Its single, curious eye is always watching, using spinning hexagon-shaped waves to look beyond the monster world and into other dimensions. This special eye can see types of light no other monster can, and it can even switch between different realities. Still, because Shimmer only has one eye, it can't really judge distance very well no matter how much it sees. And when Shimmer shifts into its minor form, its focus changes. The glow becomes deeper and heavier, like sinking underwater instead of drifting through space. Its vision turns inward and more limited, and flipping between dimensions becomes harder to control. The eye still watches, but now it feels slower and more weighed down, as if the pressure of the depths is closing in. Shimmer can still see more than most monsters, just not as clearly as before, you know. Going back to a slightly darker type of paranormal, we have Arcarina, the Ruin Paranormal. I'm gonna say this now. This is the worst paranormal in the game, by the way. In the game! I hate this paranormal! But they are the Ruin Paranormal. Arcarina's major form is grand, steady, and almost perfect. I don't mean this BS! In this form, Arcarina looks like a living monument. Its tall, structured body makes it easy to mistake for part of a building. As it plays, glowing symbols flash across its surface, and its many hands move in smooth, repeating patterns. Most monster scholars believe this form represents ruin as a slow process, something beautiful standing strong before time begins to wear it down. As Arcarina shifts into its minor form, that idea becomes clearer. Cracks begin to show, the structure looks way older, and the once pristine form appears weathered and weakened. These symbols still grow, but they feel more unstable, like pieces of knowledge being lost. Some believe that these markings are actually holding hidden meaning no one understands yet. Whether ruin or rune, Arcarina's minor form shows the result of time passing. Not through sudden destruction, but through slow, unavoidable change. Now, similar to Scallyrags, we have Owlesk, the Hoax Paranormal. Owlesk's major form is all about what it shows to the world. In this form, Owlesk looks smooth, elegant, and carefully put together. Its markings are bold, and its sharp eyes seem to watch everything, even when you're not sure which eye is real. This form represents the version of ourselves we present to others. Polished, controlled, and sometimes a little misleading. Even so, it's still beautiful in its own way. I mean, we all love Owlesk, right? But when Owlesk flips into its minor form, its true self is revealed. This form shows what Owlesk keeps concealed, its true self. The look changes, but the beauty does not fade. Yes, it does. What do we mean? The elegance is just a bit more honest and a bit more unsettling. Together, both forms remind us that even deception and truth can coexist, and that every side of ourselves deserves to be accepted. That is beautiful, man. But anyways, moving on, we have the final paranormal, which also just so happens to be the first one to ever release. We have Harriet, the Control Paranormal. Harriet's major form is calm, precise, and lightly controlled. In this form, Harriet moves like a perfect puppet, every motion smooth and exact. Even though it represents the control element, Harriet believes it isn't truly in charge. It thinks its actions are being guided by unseen strings, pulled by fate, or some hidden force. This form reflects Harriet as the puppet, graceful, focused, and following a path it believes was already decided. But when Harriet shifts into its minor form, that belief twists. The strings seem heavier, the movements less certain, and the monster looks more strange. It looks like an actual puppet. This form hints that maybe no one else is pulling the strings at all. Instead, Harriet might be controlling itself without realizing it. Together, both forms show the big question behind Harriet's existence. Is it being controlled by something else, or has it been the puppet master all along? That is every Paranormal Monsters lore explained. If you enjoyed this video, please make sure to drop a like and subscribe for more videos like this in the future. And when every other paranormal drops, like when the island's finished, we're going to drop a part 2. And yeah, subscribe, like, and I'll see you in the next video. Sayonara.